Well, today I've got the roof off in something special and Swedish in a lovely shade of yellow. It's so good, I wore a special hat for the occasion. Back when I started driving a while ago, I always said that if I could ever afford a BMW or a Mercedes, I wouldn't get that, I'd get a Saab. Yeah, ignore that, sorry. But back then, I wasn't really thinking estate cars, I was thinking more something cool like this. A convertible. In fact, it wasn't even this, it wasn't out yet. I was thinking probably more a 900 in fact. But I would have still loved this when it was new. Even after a decade has passed, in fact 15, because this is a 2005 car, there's not much on the road that looks more elegant, sporty, desirable and exciting as a four-seater convertible than this. Isn't it glorious? The Mark II 93 ran from 2002 to 2014, and within those years, from 2003 to 2012, they built this, the convertible, on that same platform, much strengthened, in fact far more strengthened than it was in the previous Mark I generation, and even the 900s before, which were a little floppy in comparison. This is a far better driver, and in aero form like this, top of the range, with the 17-inch wheels and the body kit, it really is a good looking thing, isn't it? And this lime yellow, oh, wow, what a colour, what a colour! I love it! Combined with the blue roof, there are two roof colour options on these, black or blue. I think blue is a perfect accompaniment to this. Wow, what a great looking car. Right, this is very Saab indeed. This is extremely Saab, very aeroplane inspired, as always. First of all, let's find something for my cup. This tea shelf is abysmal. I wouldn't risk anything on that tea shelf. That would just be straight in your lap. There's one cup holder in the center. Watch this. Whoa, did you get that? I'll do it again because that was rapid. Hang on. Still fast. But the cup can go in there for, whoops, cup can go in there for now. Now this dashboard is pure mid-noughties. It is festooned with buttons. There are buttons literally everywhere. I'll start on the far right hand side on the door. On the A-post of the door, your electric mirror switch here looks like a standard Saab / Opel Vauxhall part. Electric mirrors both sides. And moving into central locking and door handle, notice how many curves there are and how many different plastic finishes and materials there are going on. Smooth, lightly textured, heavily textured, like a leatherette finish into more heavily textured, heavily rubbered part. There's just so many curves. I've been more bored in an art gallery looking at sculpture than I have been looking at this door. There's just so much going on. And inside the nice sweeping curve of this door handle, we have the 4 electric window switches, because this is a pillarless electric windowed car, so you can drop all 4 windows down and have open to the elements motoring going on there. Now, these air vents, I'm sure I've seen, in fact I know I've seen, in, say for example, the Saab 9.5 I reviewed not so long ago. It's like a deck of cards that slide on top of each other, and they, as you move the little knobble on the front, it just glide one on top of the other, so the whole thing just moves and directs the air for you. Then the dashboard, the instruments. This is very exciting stuff here. First of all, you've got this rev counter on the left, redlining at nearly 6,500 RPM. That's cool. Then you get the speedo. It goes up to 160 miles an hour. It doesn't feel like it's beyond the realms of possibility either. And finally, the exciting gauge, the one on the right. The one that has water temperature and fuel. That's okay. But turbo! It's got a turbo gauge! Oh my word, yes! Any car with a turbo gauge is exciting in my book. Turbo gauge, and over here, night panel. One of my many favourite Saab features, the night panel. It turns off every light apart from the speedo, so it's just you, the road, and your Saab. That should be an advertising strapline or something, really, shouldn't it? Now the steering wheel, a lovely leather steering wheel, this was really good in your hands. It's got a fair few more buttons on it, radio and phone controls, but these 2 waggly buttons here are your Centronic controls. They give you like manual control of the automatic gearbox. Now I'm not a big fan of autos, but in a convertible like this, that's probably not too badly placed, to be honest, because it's not like a madly dynamic and exciting thing to hoon around in, so auto kind of works here. On this control stalks, you've got windscreen wipers on the right, obviously, and indicators, headlight flasher, and cruise control on the left. All useful stuff. And down here on the right, little turny dial for your headlights and your fog lights. This panel here with the night panel button also has controls for onboard computer and computery stuff that happens there as well. And there's a little auxiliary aircraft inspired LCD screen up on the top of the dashboard by the windscreen, so that can tell you other information. We'll explore that as we drive. And then being an early noughties car, we've got a radio with a LCD screen So it is colour because it's posh, but going through the selector, you've got radio, CD, there's a single CD slot down here, navigation, it's got rudimentary sat-nav, the address book for your phone and the phone itself, and a WAP browser. Hands up anyone who remembers a WAP browser on their phone. Hands up anyone who managed to make it do anything useful ever. No, okay. And system control, so you can do system-y stuff all the time. And lots of buttons. I'm not going to try and count the buttons, there are too many. I'll be here till beyond the end of the video counting buttons. Past the cup holder and down into the heating and ventilation. Swedish cars always have amazing HVAC on them. This one's got dual zone climate, it's got auto climate, recirculate obviously, air conditioning and heated seats for both front seat passengers. They do take care of you in a Swedish car. They are wonderful for that. Then you've got a little ashtray gubbinsy thing here and a big old cubby hole for stuff and this lovely kind of wavy patterned rubber matting which is in all of the cubby holes throughout the car. Past the auto box, then we've got this wonderful Saab feature. It's no longer as inventive as it used to be because in the old days of the 900, this ignition lock down here behind the gear shift and the handbrake would lock you out completely, but now it doesn't lock the handbrake, which incidentally, it becomes part of the line of the interior panel work. It matches this kind of grip handle here on the left, which if it was a left-hand drive car would be the handbrake. But yeah, once that's in lock and the keys out, you can't get it out of park, obviously. In the old days of manual Saabs, like the 900, they would lock you in reverse. You had to park in reverse, turn the key, take the key out. The car may as well have had a crook lock on it because it was stuck in reverse and going nowhere. Now it's, I don't think, maybe it does, maybe it still does in a manual, I can't remember. I need to go and test drive one again with a manual in it to find out. Down here we've got another cubby hole with that same wavy line rubber matting. It looks like it's got space for a cup holder, but it's only at the back, so it's not particularly useful if you brake hard. And then behind that, a great big cubby holder with more wavy stuff in it. It's huge, there's lots of space in there. A coin rack, power outlet, and a little aux input so you can play music off your phone into the stereo. This is good. Now this button for the soft top. It's a 20-second soft top, so you can do it at the traffic lights. With power on, just hit the button. No catches to pull, nothing to twig or whatever. Just hit the button, roof goes over. Let's have a quick look at that. Here it goes. Now that surround around the back of the roof comes black as standard, but can be chosen in body colour. "20 seconds, done." Now because of how the roof folds down into this area, there's not a great deal of space to put luggage in. Saab call this the set, or self-expanding trunk. This sort of soft fabric thing here means you can put large items in here when the roof is up, but when it drops down to show you how much space you have got if the roof is going to be folded down. So if you want to fold the roof down, you can't put anything higher than the bottom of this bit of fabric. It's not huge, you won't get a body in there, that's for sure. Little cubby here for CD changer. Little light, that's kind of it really, and a spare wheel, space saver type, under the floor. And that's your boot. I'm going to put the windows up because I'm not sure you'll hear much of what I say because I didn't have time to put the wind deflector on before I set off. There is a wind deflector in the boot of this car which does come with it. This car, by the way, is for sale at Stone Cold Classics at Rootham in Kent. Right now it's about £3,750 or so, which for a Saab convertible in this condition is frankly a steal. Check out the website in the link down below in the description. Now this car feels so different from the Vectra, which it shares a platform with. Oh, 9.3 estate just there. Saab just completely dismantled the car they were meant to be rebuilding and barely used a shred of it beyond the floor pan. And in doing so, not only put the price up per unit, but made a far more sturdy and tougher and more reliable car. Now back in the old days of the Saab 900 convertible, they were sometimes a bit wallowy, a bit shaky. Even the previous generation, the Mark 1 9.3, which used the GM 900 platform, wasn't quite as hewn feeling as this. This is very solid. I like this. I do like the planted feel. often when you drive a convertible, there is a fair degree of what they used to call scuttle shake. It's just a wobble through the car because you've taken the roof off, you've lost so much rigidity. If it's not a car like, say, an MX-5, which was designed from the outset to be convertible, then you lose an awful lot of that rigidity, and they've managed to put an awful lot back into it. Getting comfortable in this cabin is not a problem. The seats are electrically adjustable in lots of different ways and have 3 memories as well, so you can bring yourself back to wherever you left off quite happily with no problem at all. And that little LCD screen I mentioned earlier is now showing me the clock. It's showing the speed. I'm heading west right now, which I think is a song. Heading west. Oh, that's not the right tune, thankfully, so no copyright infringement there. And it tells me, I think it says no, it can't be right. I was going to say it's showing me my range, but that's saying 56 miles, so that can't be right. Now, I don't normally like automatic gearboxes, but this does actually feel quite appropriate in this particular car. It does give it that kind of waftiness that maybe a convertible needs, because it's not all about dynamic stability and chucking it through corners. It's more about roof down, having fun, isn't it? Now, I don't know if you can hear this indicator noise. It's an artificial indicator sound playing through the speakers. How mad is that? Interestingly, the temperature gauge on the heater controls doesn't go up in degrees like centigrade or Fahrenheit, as they often do, but it's got a grading of like 1 to 10, so you choose how hot you want it out of 10, which is quite fun. There were various engine options through the years: 1.8, 2 litre, 2.2 4-cylinder petrols, a 2.5 litre 250 horsepower V6, and a couple of 1.9 litre turbo diesels. Probably most common though are the 2 litre turbos, either lower or uppercase T, depending whether you have a low or a high pressure turbo. The lowercase low pressure turbo uses an Ecotec B207L, making 173 horsepower and 240 newton meters of torque. The uppercase high pressure turbo uses a B207R, making 207 horsepower, 300 newton meters of torque, and this is what I think this car has, and it'll go to 143 miles an hour and do 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. Let's see what the 0 to 60 feels like. Very rapid up to 50, then it kind of just peters off a little bit. But yes, that's for an auto. The auto is very smooth. Let's just give it a try with little paddle buttons. Right, if I slide the auto box over to the M side, and then I can use the M4, M3, put my foot down, M4 again, M5. It's a 5-speed auto, by the way, and there was a manual with a 5-speed as well. I don't know about you, but whenever I try one of these cars with manual paddles on an automatic, it's a fun gimmick for 5 minutes, but it gets old fairly fast, and it doesn't take long before I'm knocking it back into drive and just letting the car do its own thing. Being the Aero model, which has got the sport suspension and everything on it, the ride is fairly firm, but it's not jittery at all. Normally when you get a sporting convertible like this, it's kind of very bouncy and hard and not very pleasant at all, really. This is treading a fine line very well between dynamic handling and comfort. So, although, as I say, being a convertible and an automatic is not going to be the most wow, get out and hurl it around a corner kind of car, it's still pretty damn good. Now I know some people in fact a lot of people quite enjoyed the Hubnuttian view over my shoulder on the Austin video recently. I did endeavour to try and replicate that on this car, but because it's soft top and these are pillarless windows, the glass was just too floppy to attach a camera sucker to it, and there wasn't really any way of putting the tripod in the way I did in the Austin, so we've had to go back to the old Furious view, but we'll experiment with Hubnuttian forward-facing cameras in future videos. Well, thank you for joining me in this rather lovely bit of Swedish niceness. I seem to be into Swedish cars quite a lot at the moment, don't I? I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please hit like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to the channel, and I hope you join me again next time. Well, in the current situation, I'm not sure what or when I'll be driving, but do keep tuning in and hit the bell notification button for more when it does eventually happen. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you soon.